Hi friends, I'm Olivia Smith. Thanks for visiting my YouTube channel where I share the latest global news every day. You can also read more news on TimeGlitter.com. You can find all the links in the video description below. Friends, don't forget to hit the like button, drop a comment, share with others, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Now, let's jump into today's news. News headline: Biden and the Democrats are sleepwalking into a potential Trump win. News details: in a turn of events barring divine intervention, which appears distant given the apparent abandonment by the powers above, Donald Trump and Joe Biden are poised to reclaim their roles as the Republican and Democratic contenders for the presidency. Tuesday's outcomes leave little doubt in this regard, hardly coming as a shock to those closely monitoring the campaign's progression. In all fairness, many Americans, including numerous Democrats, have yet to fully engage in the political landscape. For the past year, there's been a glimmer of hope among some Democrats that legal proceedings against Trump might swing the election in their favor, perhaps even landing Trump in prison before November. However, this was always a gamble, and now the Supreme Court has suspended the trial regarding his alleged involvement in the 2020 coup attempt, while other cases against him remain uncertain in terms of timelines. Meanwhile, Biden's team and Democratic officials have been adamant in their statements to the press that Biden's replacement on the ticket is not any more likely. They assert that the race is already in full swing. Who's leading the pack? Nearly all reputable national polls conducted since January indicate Trump in the lead. A recent New York Times poll, which garnered significant media attention over the weekend, showed Trump ahead by 5 points, with 48% of registered voters supporting him, compared to Biden's 43%. This marks Trump's largest lead in a Times poll since he launched his first presidential campaign in 2015. On the other hand, Biden's popularity has hit an all-time low, with an approval rating of just 38%. 10% of those who voted for him in 2020 now claim they will vote for Trump. The demographic breakdown presented in the poll is concerning, not just for Biden but potentially for the entire Democratic Party. In the 2020 election, Biden had strong support from women, but now he and Trump are neck and neck among them. Biden previously won an estimated 72% of minorities without college degrees, but he now only leads by a slim margin of 6 points, with 47% supporting him compared to 41% for Trump. While it's prudent not to make sweeping generalizations based on a single poll, these findings are consistent with other data to some extent. Take Michigan, for example. Last week, there was a lot of attention on the undecided voters in the state's primary, especially those who weren't leaning towards Biden. Interestingly, Biden has consistently polled below 70% among Michigan's important black voters, despite winning over 90% of their votes according to exit polls in 2020. Shortcomings like these with traditionally strong Democratic voter groups help shed light on why Biden appears to be trailing in every swing state, according to recent polls. The Biden campaign's response to these numbers has been straightforward. They believe the polls are inaccurate. Michael Tyler, Biden's communications director, stated over the weekend that polling continues to be at odds with how Americans vote and consistently overestimates Donald Trump while underestimating President Biden. Tyler emphasized the importance of actual voter behavior, citing it as a clearer indicator of political strength. He asserted, Joe Biden and Democrats continue to outperform while Donald Trump and the party he leads are weak, cash-strapped, and deeply divided. However, Tyler's assertion about actual voter behavior may not hold true. Primary election results don't always reflect the candidate's strength in a general election. For instance, Trump didn't secure a majority of the Republican primary vote in 2016, yet he became president. Moreover, results from special elections, like the recent one Democrats won in New York, don't necessarily correlate with presidential election outcomes. These special elections typically involve small, unrepresentative electorates in limited geographical areas. Flawed though they may be, general election polls serve as our best indicator of the electorate's sentiment toward the upcoming election. According to political scientist David Ferris, the leader in Real Clear Politics' average of polls at this stage of the year has emerged victorious in every election since 2004, except for 2004 itself. The margin between the leader and the final result has typically been only a few points. In 2004, the anomaly occurred when Kerry and Bush were neck and neck in early March, each at around 40%. 44%. Ultimately, Bush clinched the popular vote by a slim margin of just over 2 points. However, this exception underscores a trend that might unsettle Democrats. In every election since 2004, except for the post-crash election in 2008, the Democratic candidate has performed slightly worse in November than early polls suggested at this stage of the year. Overall, there's ample evidence suggesting that Biden faces significant challenges, despite how unfair it may seem to his supporters. While some may view his tenure in office positively, recent developments paint a more nuanced picture. Undoubtedly, the economy is performing well by various measures, and under Biden, Democrats have enacted ambitious domestic policies, rivaled perhaps only by Lyndon Johnson's era. However, there are also notable concerns. Many voters feel the sting of rising prices and interest rates, compounded by the expiration of pandemic relief programs. Biden's decision to withdraw from Afghanistan was commendable but faced heavy criticism in the media. Additionally, his handling of issues such as the conflict in Gaza has sparked internal strife within his party, leading to scaled-back campaign events to avoid protests. On immigration, an issue of paramount importance to many voters, Biden has tacitly acknowledged Trump's assertions about border security, despite evidence suggesting otherwise. Rather than directly challenging Trump's divisive rhetoric and focusing on positive immigration reform, Democrats have attempted to match the right's stance on border security. With limited success, many voters remain disengaged from these policy debates, instead focusing on Biden's age as a significant concern. According to a New York Times poll, a staggering 73% of registered voters, including 61% of those who voted for Biden in 2020, believe he is too old to effectively serve as president. Democrats may wish to point fingers at the media for perpetuating concerns about Biden's age, especially in light of the Robert Hur report. However, this apprehension was anticipated by many within the party during the previous campaign. In 2019, one campaign advisor bluntly told Politico's Ryan Lizza, "If Biden is elected, he's going to be 82 years old in 4 years, and he won't be running for re-election." According to Lizza, sources close to Biden at the time considered it virtually inconceivable that he would seek another term. Yet, here we are, between a successful Super Tuesday for Biden and what could be a pivotal State of the Union address, offering him a chance to demonstrate his clarity of mind and finally present a concrete plan for his next term. Previews of the speech suggest familiar themes, such as safeguarding democracy and ensuring fairness in taxation, along with proposals concerning the opioid crisis and veteran care. However, Biden must go beyond mere rhetoric to revitalize his campaign. He has become emblematic of the entrenched political establishment in the eyes of many voters, representing a system perceived as incapable of bringing about substantial change. To regain trust, Biden must show he is both visionary and action-oriented, presenting an ambitious agenda for progress over the next 4 years. The outcome of the midterm elections will naturally influence Biden's ability to enact his policy agenda. However, having a compelling vision from the outset could bolster the chances of candidates reliant on his support. Additionally, faith in Biden's leadership hinges in part on his handling of crises such as the situation in Gaza. Bringing about a peaceful resolution and exerting pressure on Netanyahu to end the conflict would mark a significant milestone in his presidency. In Gaza and elsewhere, Biden must chart a new course to avoid finding himself adrift in the electoral waters. Otherwise, the election may slip away from him before he realizes it. Friends, don't forget to hit the like button, drop a comment, share with others, and subscribe to the